My bad, dog. What is going on, everybody, and welcome to a very special episode of the Talkin ATL Hawks podcast. Now, you might be wondering, why is this episode special? Why is Andrew dipping under the table? It's because I had a very cool intro the first time we recorded, and Buddy just ruined it. So I was like, nah, we're starting over because this is too special of an episode for it just to get just get out a little lower.
All right, Andrew.
Just for to get just get it ruined. So to get back up, because you know why? This is episode number 26. And if you haven't been watching this podcast and you don't know, we all love Kyle Korver. And what Hawks fan doesn't love it? What NBA fan doesn't like Kyle Korver? Buddy was a 3-point machine. And now he's a part of the Hawks front office, and he was a big move. He had a big hand in some of the moves we made this trade deadline, which include Gorgeous Niang, who Korver was really high on, and he turned out to be one of the best bench pieces on the Hawks this past year. So obviously Kyle Korver is making a major impact in the office, just like he did on the court. I would totally let Korver Mountain Dew me. Not a sponsor.
That's the best Mountain Dew flavor of all time. I swear.
Isn't it? Isn't it though?
That's like, it's not even close.
I should have grabbed one before we started. I'm kind of sad I didn't. But it's okay. I'll have one afterwards. But guys, welcome to another episode. Now, as always, as tradition, before we hop into every episode, we have to do the star pitch cut. Now, if you remember,
before you do yours, Chase, you were not here last week.
Yes.
So we have a star bench cut for you. Since you were not here last week, our star bench cut was coaches. It was star bench cut Lenny Wilkins, Mike Budenholzer, Nate McMillan.
Now, I already had. They did text me this star pitch cut prior to last episode, and I was going to send them my answer. However, I was at work, so I wasn't able to.
Chick-fil-A backed him up with a bunch of work. It was a bunch of bull honky, but, you know.
Hey, but you know what? That because I already saw a star pitch cut while I was working, I was thinking about it in my head. So I already have the answer on the top of my dome.
Okay.
I'm going to start with who I'm cutting.
Okay.
And I think I know I'm going to cut Nate McMillan. And the reason being, I know that he was with the Hawks for a short stint, and he did lead us to that incredible 2021 playoff run. The only reason that I'm cutting him is, y'all might be shocked by this, I did not like Nate McMillan as a head coach. And the reason I did not like him as a head coach was because he was an old head. And I think that his style of coaching was constricted a lot of the Hawks players, most notably Trae Young. Now, you might be saying, well, how can you say that if y'all made a 2021 playoff run? The Hawks team chemistry that year was absolutely unbelievable, and they played smooth as a team like I've never seen any Hawks team before since the 60-win season, if I'm being honest. And that had a big part of this in the deep playoff run. But other than that, He didn't let Trae Young be Trae Young, which is why Trae Young and Nate McMillan butt heads, and I think that played a big role in Landry Fields letting go of Nate McMillan when he stepped in the front office role. So for that reason, I was never that big of a fan of Nate McMillan. He was just an old head style basketball coach that kind of refused to adjust to the new form of basketball. And basketball's changed so much that if you're not changing with the game, you're going to be behind. And that's what happened to Nate McMillan.
It's like Dabo Sweeney with the transfer portal.
Yes, exactly.
But at some point, whether you believe in the philosophy or not, you've got to understand that like old ways is not going to translate into today's basketball because it's just not the same anymore. Yeah. Like it's honestly a stupid method to keep in your head because like you can look at several old head coaches like Greg Popovich, for example. One thing that which by the way, congratulations on retirement, Coach Greg. You are forever.
That's not a retirement, but he's done coaching. He's moved into the. I believe he's the team president now, so he's done coaching. But so he's retired from coaching, but he's still involved with Spurs, like on a more like ownership type role. I would say.
Well, yeah. I just meant retirement from coaching. He'll always be involved with the Spurs until he croaks, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Which, but by the way, Coach Pop, one of the greatest to ever do it, and I think he's a perfect example of what I'm talking about here, because one thing that Coach Pop did very well is he transformed with the game of basketball, but he always kept the knowledge that he knew fresh with whatever was going on in basketball. Like, it seemed like, because Coach Pop, I don't mean to go like Coach Pop rant, but I think it is appropriate, you know.
Yeah.
He's a very knowledgeable guy. He's probably got, in terms of NBA coaches, I don't think it's far shot to say that Greg Pop is one of the most highly renounced coaches when it comes to just the IQ for the game.
Easily. And not even close.
You look at the way that he develops players, like, he is the reason Tim Duncan is a Hall of Famer. He is the reason that Kawhi Leonard is where he's at in his game right now.
Tony Parker would have been an average role player if it wasn't for Greg Pop.
Monty Ginobili would have been the same way. And he even developed Danny Green over the years. LaMarcus Aldridge, big name right there that Greg Pop's really inflated, though he was already, you know, somewhat renounced as a player. But through the generations, he always found a way to use the knowledge of the game into what was fresh in the NBA. And that's why sure, the Spurs recently had bad years, but it was a transition period. That's not on Coach P. I mean, no coach is going to succeed with the rosters they have. But the years, you know, early 2010s especially, I mean, good Lord, it doesn't get better coach than that. And, you know, so, yeah, congratulations on retirement. And Nate McMillan, you are not Coach Pop. You are not even close. So don't even pretend you are, if you even think you are.
And I'm very interested to hear about how y'all did this between Coach Wilkins and Coach Budenholzer. Because to me, I'm very conflicted. I think in terms, not obviously coaching style, because they coach in two different eras of basketball, but in terms of overall success, they were pretty close. But I'm going to give the edge to a guy I unfortunately never got to see, and that was Coach Wilkins. Of course, he was I did it backwards. I'm benching Mike Budenholzer, and I'm starting Wilkins, what I was trying to say. And the reason being, so Coach Wilkins, of course, he was in that 90s to 2000 era, right? 1990. I think he left in 2000. I could be wrong. I have to double check that. And you know, I think he was in terms of like consistent success, he has it over Budenholzer. I know brought the Hawks to 5 straight playoff appearances, which prior to him doing that, the Hawks has never done before. He repeatedly on 2 separate occasions broke the Hawks record for most wins in a regular season until Mike Budenholzer broke it with the 60-win season. But Coach Wilkins, I think, just had that playoff success on a more consistent basis, though Mike Budenholzer was a Coach of the Year winner, and he also had good playoff success. But I think just for that reason, in terms of consistency, I'm going to give Wilkins the edge, although they are very close.
Wilkins paved the way for the new generation of Hawks basketball. After the Dominique era and the Spud Webb era kind of faded away.
He kept the Hawks on the map.
Wilkins kept the road paved for what was next to come, and you saw what the Hawks did in the early 2000s. Not a lot of success, but once we creeped into the 2010s, you saw that door fling wide open.
Yep.
But yeah.
So I'm curious to hear, as I never heard yet, y'all's list. Y'all don't have to like explain it again, as I know y'all did that last episode. I'm just curious on who y'all had.
So we did agree on the bench. We did agree on the cut. We did agree to cut
Nate McMillan.
McMillan, I believe.
We all did.
But me and Andrew both agreed, and we don't agree with you. We started Mike Budenholzer and we benched William Wilkins, but it's only because we're both more biased to Mike Budenholzer because that's when we both got into Hawks basketball. Well, because obviously, like you mentioned, like we never Coach William Wilkins was a coach in the 90s, and we were all born like post 2000.
Yeah.
So so like we never like got to like watch Coach Lenny like actually coach, but we both got into basketball like during the Boonholzer era. So like, we're both biased in that kind of way. But we Lewis is fine. Lewis is perfect. I mean,
no, and look, like I said, like to me, it's like neck and neck. Like that could go either way. So I don't blame y'all at all for having Boonholzer over Coach Wilkins. I think it's very close.
Right, yeah. I mean, yeah. Like I was saying, like last, like Coach Wilkins is a very like staple name in the Hawks history. Like you can't like not like mention him at all as a. You can't like not mention him at all as like a coach. So I mean, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So I believe it's your turn for start bench cut.
It is. So for my start bench cut. I know it's something we've talked about before on this podcast, because there's a saying that goes in sports, look good, play good. And with that saying, I think the Hawks, as we've talked about this on the podcast before, the Hawks have a history of looking good on the NBA court. But I'm not just talking about jerseys per se. I'm talking about ever since the NBA introduced. Now I'm going to make this a little easier because there's many options you can go here. This is what I'm going to do. Ever since the NBA introduced City Edition jerseys into the NBA, think about every City Edition jersey the Hawks had, and y'all's own start bench cut. So I'm not giving 3 options. It's every City Edition jersey the Hawks has had, and based on those options, I want to hear everybody's start bench cut. So that opens the possibility of like completely different answers. This is easy. This is easy. I have an answer in my head. Joyner, I'm gonna kick it off to you first. I want to hear your list first, and then I'll go.
Actually, give me a minute to look it up.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm trying. Give me a minute to look this up.
Andrew, I think I already know what your number one answer is going to be. I don't think you do. I think I do. I don't think you do. I have my list in my head, and the jersey I'm thinking about is in my list, and I think it's your number one. My number one. You're going with start? I'm starting. I'm going from top to bottom. Without question, the best jersey, not even this is how bold I am right here. This is not just the best City Edition jersey the Hawks ever had. This is the best jersey the Hawks ever had. As a matter of fact, Chase, I think this is a top 3 jersey in NBA history. That's how much I freaking love it. It is the Atlanta Hawks 2022 jersey. I might be a little off on the year. Please correct me if I'm wrong. But when the Hawks had the mustard yellow jersey back with the old throwback Hawk logo on it.
I should have worn it.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, not only this is something that I firmly stand on. As a matter of fact, Chase, can you do me a favor?
Oh,
can you pull it up on the web?
Oh yeah, I guess I could.
So while I'm talking, just so you pull up on the web, guys, ladies and gentlemen, the beautiful thing about City Connect jerseys is the court always corresponds with what the players are wearing, and I've been a big believer. Now, I hate the over.
I forgot how to do
it. You gotta pull it up in the tab first. I absolutely hate the oversimplification that all leagues have been doing in terms of logo designs and whatnot. But I don't hate the new simplified Hawks logo, but there is no doubt that we should have never gotten rid of the old Hawk logo, the red Hawk with the spread wings and the Hawk claws attached to the basketball. That is an elite logo in all sports, dude.
I found it out.
Elite logo in all sports. And that's number one because to me, it just that screams Atlanta Hawks basketball, and you can't convince me otherwise. So that thing right there is, to me, the most beautiful darn thing because the court that went with it, having the old logo in the oh my gosh,
it's my favorite to this day. It's still my favorite Hawks jersey I have.
Whenever I have my newborn child, I'm wrapping it up in this jersey. I'm not even letting it touch a blanket. You know what?
It's not even gonna get breastfed.
You have to find somebody that wants to make a baby with you first.
It's not even gonna get breastfed by the mother. It's gonna get breastfed by the hawk right there. I don't know. We're gonna make it work somehow. But that is my child right there.
You have to find somebody that's gonna want to make a baby with you first.
Number 2. I'll make the other 2 quick.
You're skipping
since I just brown nosed this entire jersey. Let me just make these last 2 quick. But they're gonna be simplified reasons. Number 2 is a this year's City Edition jersey, the one that Jordan's wearing right now.
I'm not gonna lie, my list that I thought you were gonna say is completely wrong.
It's a great play from last year's jersey because I loved last year's jersey, but they made this one so much better because it's got more of a clean look with the white backdrop and the baby blue. That just goes better than the black and baby blue, and I love that they kept the same court design. Because with the little shadow hawk in each
I love that
side of the paint. Beautiful. The course just baby blue just works in this instance. And baby blue, for those who don't know, is my favorite color of all time. So I might be a little biased towards that as well, but I just love it. Number 3, kind of a reason that has nothing to do with the way it looks, but I do like the way it looks. And that is the 2020 COVID year MLK jerseys. Shout out Martin Luther King Jr., one of the greatest human individuals to ever be alive, broke the color barrier and was the Chase. Please pull it up on the web and pull up the court with it too. MLK not only broke the color barrier in many parts of the world in the way that we live now, but he also inspired this thing right here.
Look how sexy Trae Young looks.
Oh my God!
Yeah, God. You want me to tell you why I love this court? Why I love this jersey? Because please pull up the court. Now that you've seen the jersey, the court. This right here is one of the best things the Hawks have ever done.
Oh my God!
Using the old style church glass windows with the colored broken glass pieces and mirrored that into our logo. Huh?
It's called stained glass.
Well, a form of stained glass, sure. And you ask the real reason why this is in my top 3? Because every time the Hawks wore this jersey, we didn't freaking lose. And that is why during our playoff run, because the one thing, shout out to the Hawks social media admin, because during that 2021 playoff run, he gave the fans the opportunity to vote on what jerseys the Hawks should wear in each home playoff game, and it was almost an undisputed vote every single time for these jerseys right here because we just never freaking lose. And now every time I see that, I just think about John Collins' ball sack being in Joel Embiid's face. Yeah, and that's a great image to have.
If you want to know, the reason I was laughing when Andrew said the MLK jerseys is because that completed my list. From top to bottom, me and Andrew had the exact same list.
No shot.
The exact same. Number 1, the Hawks mustard jerseys. Number 2, this year's City Edition. Number 3, the MLK jerseys.
Oh, you mean bro?
Dead serious.
Hey!
Same order.
Dang.
Joyner, that leads it to you. Are we going to have –
my dog.
Think about this.
My dog.
Joyner has the opportunity to do something crazy here. There are so many options you can choose from. If Joyner somehow has the same list, this is going to be like legendary. In the words of Shadur Sanders, let's be legendary.
I do not.
Okay, that's fine. Let's hear it, Joyner.
Because there are a lot of good – like that. There is an honorable mention, but I'll get to that later.
I'm going to start with my third place. I'm going to start with the Petrie jersey.
Let's go. The Peach jersey. That was my honorable mention because I love the mess out of that jersey.
The Petries were a good jersey.
Because like Petrie, Georgia, Georgia's the Peach State. You got to represent Georgia somehow.
The booty state.
So Petrie, I plus the font of the numbers and the letters like it's just so clean in my opinion. Number 2, I'm gonna go with the MLK jerseys. I'm gonna go with the MLK because, like you said, Andrew, MLK staple guy for the United States.
100%.
Broke the color barrier. Staple guy for Georgia in general. But number 1, I'm gonna bias because this is my first ever City jersey. I'm gonna go with this one.
I love it. W list. And I don't hate that. I don't hate that list at all.
Just bias right here because this is my first ever City jersey because my other jerseys were just plain old like Hawks jerseys.
It's a fantastic.
Casual home and away jerseys. This is my first ever white City Connect jersey. So
W list.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
Join
just a little bit biased there, but we're Hawks fans. We can be biased if we want.
Yeah, this is our podcast. We can do whatever we want. Yeah. And look, you know what? This is completely unrelated. When Angie said the booty state, something just came to mind. This isn't even Hawks related.
A lot of things came to mind.
This has to be said. I'm just going to put a disclaimer about what you're about to see. We cannot get in trouble for this because this is on the what's the Morehead City Booty Divers website. Now, if you don't know what the Morehead City Booty Divers are, they are a baseball team. They are a Miami Marlins affiliate baseball team, and the affiliate teams are doing this thing where you can have an alternate identity for a little bit. And Morehead City decided we want to be the Booty Divers. Now, Joyner, I want you to take a look at this merch, and I want you to know what you think. Now, this is real merch. Now, this is on their website. Keep that in mind. This is on their website. Joyner,
this feels illegal.
What do you think? It says Booty Patrol. There is a kid wearing a shirt that says Booty Patrol.
This feels wrong. I feel like we shouldn't be looking at this.
There's a kid there. It's a kid.
This episode might be cooked.
No, I gotta say,
this episode might not be able to be posted.
I gotta say,
I mean, okay, so I get like a kid to be more cute in a Booty Patrol shirt than a freaking adult. But like, come on now.
Hey, listen, YouTube. YouTube, listen to me. When you're reviewing this episode to make sure everything's good, dude, you cannot take us down for this. This is on their website. This is not us. This is on their website.
$15. Well, actually, that's you. So,
guys, I will say, I will say this. Dare we wear a Booty Patrol shirt next episode?
Wait, hold on. Did you say that this is Miami Marlins?
I will say this.
We need to get Strader. Jackson Strader to this shirt.
I'll go back to the picture. I'll go back to the picture. Oh! Yes! We are getting... Oh! Make booty diving great again! Guys.
Wait, who's going to make booty...
Guys, this is the best thing I've ever seen. Hey, I go back to this kid real quick. I do have to say that if that kid, she looks like Schrader. No, that kid should be smiling like that if he's on Booty Patrol. Like that like anybody that's on Booty Patrol should most definitely be that joyful. So
let's get Booty Patrol shirts. Let's do it. Let's do it.
I thought we have to. Do we get the hat though? Like the make?
Yes, I will 100% get the hat. I will 100% get the hat.
I go down? Oh my gosh, dude. This is the best.
It's $75 though. Nah, I can't afford that.
Dog, this is like the best thing I've seen in my life. So next episode is just Booty Diver. I mean, guys, dare we? I mean, we can make episode number 27.
This is minor league team. This is a minor league team. We should get traded this stuff.
Dude, absolutely. We could all wear the booty short or the boot like the women's, and then we can make episode 27 a explicit episode only. Viewer discretion advised.
Look, I gotta say the treasure chest is in the right spot.
Hey, X marks the spot. You know what I'm saying?
X marks the spot, guys.
Oh my gosh, this episode not gonna get uploaded.
I forget we're on a Hawks podcast.
So
yeah. Yeah, sorry guys. This is a mixture of Talkin ATL Hawks / SLP.
Hey, oh yeah, and be on the lookout for our new podcast coming out soon. On the Booty Divers. What are we gonna call it?
Are we all making this Sports Out of Pocket podcast?
And we can make it around the Booty Divers. Survivors of the Booty Divers. Survivors of the Booty Divers. No, I survived a booty dive. We gotta do something with Booty Patrol. Weekly Booty Patrol. Guys, we're gonna come with something for y'all.
Yeah.
To turn the page back to Hawks basketball.
Hey, I'm sorry to keep ranting, but could you imagine if like people were like watching this podcast, they decide just to skip a little bit, and next thing you know, we're looking at a kid wearing a shirt that says Booty Patrol. You know, like those memes where it's like I skipped too far. I only skipped 10 seconds.
Going on the registry. Okay. So
Sorry.
going
Back to Hawks basketball.
I
will gladly. What?
This past week, do we want to go over the awards that we're giving out?
Well, I was gonna say before we do that, because I think we're gonna spend majority of the episode talking about that. I say before we do that, I need you to lock in for a minute, Mr. Chase.
I'm locked in.
Okay.
I'm always locked in.
Because I got a trade proposal for you guys. There has been a trade proposal floating around. Now, this is just a rumor, but I was looking into it, and this rumor was floating around as early as a day ago. And I was looking at the details of it. It's a three-way trade between the Hawks, the Nets, and the Lakers.
Oh.
And I absolutely love this side of the coin for the Atlanta Hawks. So here are the details of the trade. Lakers receive Nick Claxton, 2025 first-round pick from Brooklyn, 2026 second-round pick from Atlanta, and a 2027 second-round pick from Brooklyn.
That's a whole lot of picks.
So that's what the Lakers receive, a whole lot of picks and Nick Claxton. The Nets receive Austin Reeves, Terrence Mann, Kobe Buffkin, which that hurts a little bit, Maxi Kelber, a 2025 top 5 protective pick from Atlanta. So Brooklyn's getting the shipload.
That's a young core, too.
And a 2031 top 3 protected pick from LA. So Brooklyn, I got to say, would be winning this trade. But Atlanta receives only one piece.
If it's not Cam Johnson, I don't want it.
And it's Cam Johnson. That's the only thing Atlanta gets. And even though we're sending
sign me up.
Even though we're sending Brooklyn a protected top 5 pick in 2029, that's 3 years down the future. I could care less. And this is why this just works with Atlanta.
Well, Terrence Mann and Kobe Buffkin, too. Don't forget that.
Well, yeah. But this is why this works with Atlanta. Because Trae Young always succeeds when there's a guy next to him that can shoot the ball. Cam Johnson shot the ball 49% from 3 this previous year. And with that trade, the Hawks aren't losing any size because Lord knows we don't need to lose any size. But we're getting a guy at the wing position that offers pretty good size, and we can put him at a forward spot. And because imagine what the starting 5 could be. You could have Trae Young at the point, Dyson Daniels at shooting guard, Jalen Johnson at power forward or small forward, and then whichever forward position is not filled, you give that to Cam Johnson. You have Onyeka Okongwu at center, and you have Zachary coming off the bench. That is freaking lethal.
Hey,
we can have the Johnson and Johnson duo.
Talking about getting away for Trae Young to stay in Atlanta, why would he not want to stay? Cam Jordan is a
Cam Johnson,
excuse me, is a lethal shooter on the Brooklyn Nets. I love that man ever since I was watching him play at North Carolina and him terrorize my Seminoles. Didn't love that part especially, but of course drafted by the Nets, and ever since he's been stuck in that Nets Davy Jones locker for years.
No, he was talking about Phoenix.
Oh yeah, you're right. The Phoenix Suns. You're right. You're right. No,
sorry. He was part of the Kevin Durant trade.
You're right. I'm sorry. I'm glad you said that. I completely forgot he was on the Suns. I'm glad you said that. Yeah. And then yes, you're absolutely right. Part of the Kevin Durant trade. But yeah, I love that. I love everything about that trade. What do you think, Jordan?
I mean, I just don't get the idea of like benching Zachary Shea. I mean, because that would kind of like. I don't want to say weaken his. I don't want to say that would like weaken his confidence, but like I don't think that would help his confidence either because we've been starting him for the majority of this season, and so I get like having like a guy like Cam Johnson is great, but I just don't know about that.
Here's something you got to consider though. Had Jalen Johnson not get hurt, I don't think Zachary's minute. Obviously, Zachary would still start at the other forward spot, but I don't think he would have gotten as much minutes because that would have given us the freedom to fluctuate him on the bench. And I think another thing to consider is, well, if you add Cam Johnson, there's really going to be no spot in the starting five for Zachary because Zachary's only a 2-year guy, though he showed very good signs his rookie season, especially in the second half of the year. You can't put a second-year guy over Cam Johnson or Jalen.
Right.
So you would kind of have to bench him, but just because you bench him doesn't mean his minutes should get depleted that much. I mean, he's still going to get 20 to 25 plus minutes coming off the bench because you even saw it more and more this year. Quinn Snyder is kind of loosening up the way that he takes the stars out earlier than what he used to. And so we'd still be seeing Zachary subbed in mid to late first quarter and play the majority of the second. And then the stars come back in, take control of the third and that kind of thing. And it's not like Zachary's going to be stuck on the bench forever. Once his time comes to be a fully functional starter, he'll get there. And I think using the time off the bench, especially to learn behind guys like Jalen Johnson and Cam Johnson, there's no better forward duo right there that could teach a guy like Zachary and his potential than that deal right there. So I think in a way, yeah, you'd be taking him out of the starting five, but this will benefit him on such a wider scale and benefit the Hawks entirely. So I love this trade.
And you also have to realize, like, this isn't a high-risk, high-reward situation. This isn't a risk at all. Because you talk about that pick that we give up, which isn't really a big deal in hindsight. And then you're also losing Kobe Buffkin. And though he did show flashes of great potential, he hasn't really had his full chance to prove himself for the Hawks. And he's also been dealing with a lot of injuries. And he's losing Terrence Mann, who was a nice bench piece. We can afford to lose Mann. And makes our bench so much better, being able to move Dyson and Zachary there too. So like
Dyson wouldn't be on the bench. Dyson would be the starting shooting guard.
Yeah, no, Dyson would start.
You got to start Dyson.
Oh, okay. Well, either way,
we have to.
Either way, it still proves the point, even adding Zachary to the bench. Like I said, going to the bench doesn't have to be a bad thing. That can just be a sign that your team's doing better. Then Quinn Snyder's not like a Coach Thibodeau that just doesn't use his bench at all. He loves to use bench. He loves to go deep and take advantage of the depth that he has. And the Hawks were pretty deep this year, and especially towards the end of the season, we saw instances where our bench just completely outplayed the starters. Oh, yeah. And that just shows not only that we had depth, but they're able to play well, and Quinn Snyder uses them well. I think Zachary can be that guy that can just add another emphasis to our bench that can make it even more deadly than it was just this year. Imagine Zachary Richardson, Karis LeVert, and Niang, if we can somehow figure out how to manage them into our bench even more next year.
Clint Capella.
And whatever all-season acquisitions that the Hawks decide to go with this year, and even in this draft, who the Hawks want to draft this year. There's many different directions. Like this creates a good problem for Quinn Snyder when it comes to his bench next year.
And look, and though we might be losing Kobe Buffkin, look who we've got sitting in the G League right now in College Park, and that's Keaton Wallace.
Keaton Wallace, dude. Yeah.
That is the best replacement for a guy like Kobe Buffkin because Keaton Wallace showed several times this year, especially in the absence of Trae Young, what kind of player he can be for the team.
You got to think about players like Dominic Barlow, too. Mo Bamba's going to be coming off the bench. And Barlow and Mo Bamba are two flashy guys.
I think you mean Mo Gay. I don't think we have Mo Bamba.
Mo Gay.
That would be something though.
Mo Gay. I'm sorry, y'all. It's 11 o'clock at night. I'm a little fatigued.
Yeah,
but y'all know what I mean. You know, Mo Bamba, Mo Gay.
I got Haynes.
Yeah, hey, never mind. Oh, Jordan. That's what I was gonna say. Jordan, I know. So now that we got to that trade proposal, Jordan, I think you were going to start talking about the awards, the end of the year awards. There were two Hawks that were nominated for awards. Of course, Dyson Daniels was a Most Improved Player nominee, and Zachary Richardson was a Rookie of the Year nominee. But Jordan,
Dyson was also a Defense Player of the Year nominee.
Yes, Dyson was a Defense Player nominee as well. So technically, two Hawks players for a combination of three possible awards. Joyner, if you want to go ahead and break down what exactly happened on award night and which Hawks, if any, went away with some hardware.
So I do believe that me and Andrew covered the Depoy Award last.
Yes, and I remember,
last
we
week.
did.
But just in case you missed it, Dyson did not win the award. The award was with Devin Mobley, which at the end of the day, I'm not too surprised, honestly, considering the DPOY award is a more big favorite award.
Yeah.
I think honestly, I think maybe Andrew, we're just glad that Draymond didn't win it because, like, let's be honest, Draymond.
That would have set the world on fire.
Evan Mobley, I can be okay with. If Drake
Yes.
Green won it, I would have to riot.
Look, Draymond's
been playing. His defense has been so stellar in the playoffs, but in the regular season, like, why was he even a nominee? If I'm being honest, I bet you if I tried hard enough, I could name at least 3 better defensive players throughout the regular season.
His off-ball defensive presence was something different there.
Playoff Draymond has been different. I've got to admit, playoff Draymond has been really good defensively.
So the next award that was announced that would involve the Hawk was the Rookie of the Year award, I believe.
Yep.
It was between Zachary Shea, Stephon Castle, and Jalen Wells of the Memphis Grizzlies. Yep. And as I think we all expected, it was Zachary did not win the award. The award went to Stephon Castle, who has been having a great year all around. All season long. I think Zachary didn't really break out until like late this year. So
yeah.
Like Stephon Castle already had the award pretty much like on lock. Going into the award, which mean like looking back at the the award like nominations. Stephon Castle had like 92 first place votes compared to Zachary's 5 first place votes. So Stephon Castle won it by a landslide. So you know what? Congrats to him. Zachary came in second place. Zachary did start out slow to start the season. So not the it's tough that he didn't win the award, but hey, you can't win them all. But we did get a Hawk to win the Most Improved Year award, and that was Mr. Great Barrier Thief, Dyson Daniels. And funny thing is, so he was back in Australia when the awards were announced, and the awards were announced at 7 p.m. our time, which is around like 9 a.m. their time. Yeah. So we had to wake up kind of early to get interviewed by the TNT crew. But we got
his daddy,
the Hawks did get a award winner in Dyson Daniels, who won the award by with 44 first place votes compared to Ivica Zubac's 25 first place votes. So that was kind of interesting that he overcame Cade Cunningham's first place votes. But I guess that sort of takes JJ Redick's comments about the Most Improved Player awards comments out of I guess it's sort of like destroys his comments.
Yeah.
I don't know if y'all heard what he said, but he said that award was basically that award was for a lottery pick who we got like a max contract extension with this team, and then later became an all-star, which Dyson Daniels was not an all-star this season. So that's not true. That's not true. So congrats to Dyson. And what are your thoughts on the?
When is JJ Redick ever right about anything though?
Hey, okay, JJ Redick as an analytic is really stupid. I will admit. But I will say though, to your point, Joyner, about the MIP award, and I guess what people think it means and who it goes to. That's why I liked in Dyson's interview saying that this is just a small step in the right direction, because he already disproved the fact of what qualifies you as a most improved player, and he's taken this as this is just a stepping stone of what I want to be as a player. And that's crazy to say after the season he just had. Of course, this is the second Hawk
in Hawks history to take home this award. It was Allen Henderson in the 1997-98 season under Coach Wilkins that also took the award. But Dyson, he led this with his defensive capabilities in terms of steals is what obviously set him apart. 229, which led the NBA by a wide margin. The first and second place leaders had a huge gap.
Shuffled his name across the entire association. Everybody was talking about how insane Dyson Daniels' hands were.
And not only was crazy. Not only was his steals just like astronomical in terms of just on paper this year, but if you look back to NBA history, he's in a good list with a lot of defensive greats. He averaged the most steals per game in a season since Robertson in 1990-91. We know how great of a defender he was.
Very elite company.
And then also he also recorded the most total steals in the season since Gary Payton in 95 and 96, which Gary Payton was a great Barrier Reef in the 90s. So that's great elite company to be in.
And just not even one thing that we're not even mentioning, and I think a lot of people also forget about, is the offensive totals were up, skyrocket for Dyson.
That. I don't think he started. I don't think he was started for New Orleans when he was in New Orleans. He started for us pretty consistently, so he had more opportunity to put up more points.
And you could
more assists. In Atlanta than in New Orleans. So that too, not just defensively. Yes, defensively he was great. He was. We think as by his Hawks fan, he was snubbed for the DPOY award. But also offensively, he improved, and that's where I think that's also what played a factor into his award-winning decision.
For sure. And you can take a look at that factor being a cause of it. His minutes skyrocketed. He was a bench player, like a 7th, 8th guy in New Orleans, a terrible roster, and then he got inflated into a big role in Atlanta, and that's why his numbers inflated. But just look at the shooting percentages altogether. I mean, he was averaging sub 5 in New Orleans. I don't even think he was averaging 2 assists in New Orleans. And don't even get me started on the shooting percentage. I think he was shooting about 39% in his little chunk of minutes he was getting in New Orleans. And then he steps into a bigger role in Atlanta. And I think the way that the Hawks GM viewed Dyson when acquiring him from the offseason was up front. The Hawks had no defense from beyond the perimeter. That was in the wing and the top of the key. And the Hawks wanted some kind of guy to put instant pressure at the top of the key before we get inside, because that's where the Hawks been. Even though DeJounte Murray is a great guard defender, he didn't have the defensive pressure that Dyson Daniels poses, and he doesn't have the ability to force turnovers that transition into fast break opportunities. And that's what Dyson did up front, and that's what the Hawks saw, because Dyson Daniels did present those abilities in New Orleans, just not at the extended value that Atlanta gave him when he first got here. And that also, because stepping into that bigger role, you kind of place yourself in the mindset that you have to make yourself worthy of those minutes. And Dyson Daniels was doing that on the defensive end, but in a way, in being around the influence of those great shooters in Atlanta, he got the confidence to find his stroke on offense. He struggled on scoring inside a little bit. He missed a lot of floaters, but he did do great in harsh contact. His outside shooting got better, his mid-range shooting got better, and his post moves got better. And his ability to find those gaps in the corners to drive the baseline, get to the basket, was something he never did in New Orleans. And that, to me, mixed in with his defense, is a clear enough combination for anybody to get the Most Improved award. So I'm happy I have your jersey. It is also the City Connect jersey, so I'm very, very happy to have your jersey. And congratulations to you. And shout out to the great Barrier Daddy, who made an appearance in Dyson Daniels' interview with the TNT crew.
Hey, I also do want to say, though, another part of his game they're not even talking about is when he wasn't collecting just raw steals in general, he led the league in deflections per game at 5.8, which is a total of 443, which also led the league by a large margin. So even though he wasn't collecting the raw steals, he was still deflecting passes on incoming passing lanes, especially on backdoor cuts, which he did very good, but most notably beyond the perimeter passing. He did a good job blocking the passing lanes and deflecting a lot of those passes and interrupting a lot of the opposing team's possessions. And that's just like a secret part of the game that's not highlighted on the stat sheet, but it's
it's a beautiful part of the game that not a lot of people pay attention to, and it caused great effect. And it's kind of ironic because we picked him up in hopes that he'll help our perimeter defense, and while he did greatly, the Hawks still had one of the worst perimeter defense, was one of the worst perimeter defending teams in the league, and that comes due to the fact that we don't have a team full of Dyson Daniels. We have Dyson Daniels, and nobody else plays their part.
And it's funny because ironically matched up with that. And I think another factor as to why Dyson's Defensive Player of the Year numbers got tanked, despite his historical steal total, was Dyson Daniels plus minus on the court with the Hawks was not good.
Because the rest of our defense sucks.
And that's the thing that's unfortunate because it's not entirely a reflection on him at all, but he is guilty by association in that charge. So I think that definitely influenced a lot of decision makers in terms of those.
It always does. They look at team success. I've always been confused why individual awards are influenced by team success, but that's just the way it is in sports.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Oh, I do want to say also, to me, it's not surprising at all that Cade Cunningham did not win Most Improved Player because though Cade Cunningham did improve his numbers by a very impressive amount, I think when you're let's side by side compare Dyson Daniels' season and Cade Cunningham's season. Cade Cunningham was already renouncing himself as an emerging star in the league last year because he played like one of the most top guards in the league, but again, the recognition wasn't there because the Pistons are sitting at the bottom of a bad Eastern Conference, and then you saw the transition flip this year, making the 6th seed, getting the Knicks one heck of a playoff series, and Cade Cunningham was averaging darn near 30 points a game, but he was averaging already 24 points a game last year, so he was already submitting himself as a reliable guard. I got to keep your eye on. Dyson Daniels literally came out of the depths of the Great Barrier Reef into now one of the most highlighted names because of his steal total. So I think that factor is definitely like Cade Cunningham obviously improved in such an extreme factor, but side by side, comparing with Dyson Daniels, it's not like a drastic like reaching into a ball like the island of misfit toys and putting him as one of the most talked about names in the league. You know what I mean? Like that is most improved right there.
For sure,
Anything else, boys?
Sorry, Jordan. I know we kind of rambled for a little bit.
Good.
We want to hear. Do you have any other thoughts?
No, I don't. No, not really.
Well, I guess I'll ask a question. I guess just in terms of overall awards, were there any that I guess particularly shocked you in a way?
I mean, obviously, as a biased Hawks fan, I was shocked that Dyson didn't get the award. I thought that he deserved it, but I'm not. But at the same time, like knowing the history of the Decoy Award, and now it's been given to big men like power forward centers. Like I'm not surprised that Mobley won the award, but Rookie of the Year, like I think we all. But Rookie of the Year, I think we all knew that like Stephon Castle was going to win the award.
Yeah, and you're right, Jordan.
Yeah,
I got one, and
but before you hop on yours, Andrew, I do want to say about Stephon Castle winning the NBA Rookie of the Year. I know Zachary did make a great case, but Jordan, you talked about it earlier. Stephon Castle was made an immediate impact in the league right off the bat, right at the start of the season. Zachary did have that slow start and didn't really catch fire until late November, but especially after All-Star break. Because of that, Zachary's numbers always fell behind Stephon Castle because, of course, Stephon Castle had the most total points and assists out of every rookie. His shooting percentage was a little better. The one thing that Zachary did have the upper hand on Stephon Castle was defending percentage.
And most 30-point games out of any rookie.
Yes, but defensive wise was the one thing that he did have have over Stephon Castle, but it wasn't a wide enough gap to like outweigh the fact that Stephon Castle's offensive numbers were better. Though I do think Zachary does have a higher ceiling than the Stephon Castle. I think if Zachary played the whole season like he did this after All-Star break, I think he does win the award because Zachary post All-Star break was like a different beast. He had some of the best performances I've seen a Hawks rookie ever have.
This is my bogus meter right here. Do you know what I think is absolutely bogus?
What?
That Trae Young.
I'm completely fine with Jalen Brunson winning the Clutch Player of the Year. I'm completely fine with that because you can even see it now in the playoffs, what he did last year in Game 1 against the Celtics, what he did in Game 6 to cap off a series against Detroit. I know it's not a postseason award, but I'm saying what he did in the regular season in terms of clutchness has translated to the postseason. I'm completely fine with that. I'm not going to sit here and say that Jalen Brunson does not deserve that because he absolutely does. But I'm looking at the voting results, okay? The voting results is divided into 13 players. I don't know why Trae Young is fourth on this list. And the reason why I say I don't know why Trae Young is fourth on this list, because Trae Young had a solid chunk handful of insanely clutch moments throughout the year. You can look back into his half-court buzzer beater against Utah. You can look at his game-winning three in the winding seconds of a big overtime game against the LA Lakers.
Yep.
And
you can talk about him being a huge part of the Hawks' 19.4 quarter comeback against the Bulls.
Absolutely. I'm looking at those moments right there. Again, I'm not going to sit here and say that Nikola Jokic and Anthony Edwards, who are ranked above Trae Young, don't deserve to be on that list.
Yeah,
but I feel like Trae Young at the fourth spot is a little disrespectful because he didn't have Anthony Edwards. Anthony Edwards may be an exception, but Nikola Jokic didn't have those clutch moments like Nikola Jokic, the Joker. Honestly, clutch. In my opinion, the Joker is the leading MVP, in my opinion, over Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, which is a hot take to some people. But in terms of just clutch moments, I just don't know if he should have the upper hand on Trae. Again, high respect for those guys. But that's just my little nitpick thing right there is Trae was clutch, extremely clutch this year. I would love to see him, at least finish top 3.
And actually, ironically, I'm watching Trae Young clutch highlight reel that Baby Chase posted years ago.
Wow. I have a lot to add to that reel.
I came across a long time ago. Like when Trae Young first got drafted, I had an Atlanta Hawks Instagram page, and Andrew was talking about clutch playoff moments. I remember I went back to that Instagram page just because I remembered that I had like a whole highlight reel of like Trae Young's clutch moments. And I just thought it was
what a time to be alive.
Just thought it was a good time to reminisce. But yeah, I everything you said was spot on, Andrew.
Yeah.
And I think this is also just another instance of team success influences individual player reward.
Because like the other three are well, no, I won't say currently because the Pistons are out of the playoffs now, but all three made the playoffs. Like Pistons made the playoffs.
Exactly.
Timberwolves. So.
Exactly, dude. I don't mean to be distracted here, but golly.
No, you're good.
Sorry. I'll say for another day. Yeah. What y'all think? Any? I guess before we close the episode, do y'all have any closing remarks?
I think I'm good.
I think we filled this episode with a lot of good conversation.
Guys, I have a PSA.
Yes.
Okay.
I do have to admit that this upcoming Sunday is a big day.
This upcoming Sunday.
Let me make sure. Wait. Yeah.
This Sunday's a big day?
This upcoming Sunday is a big day.
For the Hawks?
For this podcast.
Okay.
27.
I have a master plan in mind. You know what? It's either going to be this Sunday or next Sunday.
Okay.
I have a master plan in mind. This is something that I brought up a couple weeks ago, and I don't know if anyone took it seriously or not, but I was being full serious. Expect
a 10-minute episode to get posted on the Hawks YouTube channel. Me sitting right there in that chair and me praising Nick Nurse. And you look, I update. This is my update on my Nick Nurse. Nick Nurse is an impossible guy to get in touch with. Like, you can't find the contact anywhere. But guess what I found?
Oh my God.
Y'all want to know what I did?
What did you do?
I have emailed the Philadelphia 76ers. I found their email and I asked them. I lied. I made up some BS statement that I was an up and coming news reporter from Philadelphia, and I want to ask if I could get Nick Nurse's email to send him some interview questions. I don't know. This was like a computer. What? This was like I've been keeping this a secret because I want to keep this low key until I got some good news. But guys, I'm not even joking. I think this was a computer automated response, but I got a response like a couple hours later saying, "Hey, we are in the process of reviewing your message. You will hear back from us in 3 to 4 business days." What if they send me Nick Nurse's email? Do we get Nick Nurse on the podcast? Do we get Nick Nurse on the podcast? This is an update, y'all. This is low-key ridiculous. I'm not even going to lie. I was not expecting to pull that out of your butt. I'm impressed.
I
haven't said a word.
I thought this was just like a running joke for the podcast.
Chase is serious, bro. I was serious. Look, Chase, I was keeping this low key, but guys, this is a step in the right direction. Hey, you're making strides. I'm impressed. I was not expecting this. You are full on making strides. So I'm just saying, y'all.
Hold on. Were the Sixers firing Nick Nurse and the Hawks hiring an assistant coach?
Yo, I would wear Nick Nurse.
If that happens, we have to give Chase some sort of a key to the city of Atlanta.
I would wear a Nick Nurse Speedo in a heartbeat. Dog. This is.
Oh my gosh!
I didn't know Chase and Nick Nurse had such a intimate connection. But it's more intimate than people think.
Wow. Okay, so next Sunday we're not doing a regular podcast. It's just gonna be you.
Oh, no. We'll still post that regular episode. I'm just doing that along with it. But, yeah, we'll still have our regularly scheduled podcast.
Okay. Sounds
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, with that being said, thank you for tuning in to this very special Kyle Korver edition. I almost said Sports Out of Pocket of Talkin ATL Hawks podcast. We'll be right back, as ever.